Have you ever opened your heart to help someone, only to feel as though your kindness has been dismissed, overlooked, or worse, taken for granted? Maybe you've stayed late at work to help a colleague, only to receive not even a simple thank you. Or perhaps you've bent over backward to accommodate a friend's needs, only to find yourself met with silence or even entitlement. It stings, doesn't it? But here's the question: is the problem with your kindness? Or is it something deeper? Kindness is often celebrated as one of the greatest virtues. We're told to give freely, to be generous, and to be selfless. But what happens when kindness isn't met with respect? What happens when your acts of goodwill become expectations rather than appreciated gestures? Here's where Stoic philosophy has something profound to offer. It doesn't tell us to stop being kind, instead. It teaches us how to channel our kindness into something stronger, something unshakable. It's not about giving less, but about giving wisely. In today's video, we'll uncover the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and learn how to turn kindness into a source of inner strength, by setting boundaries and practicing generosity with purpose. Let's dive in. Because what you're about to discover might just change how you approach kindness forever. Unlimited kindness, while seemingly noble, can often lead to unintended consequences that hurt both the giver and those around them. Let's explore this idea through real-life scenarios and see what Stoic philosophy teaches us about balancing generosity with wisdom. John is a dedicated colleague everyone in his workplace appreciates. He stays late to help with projects, covers shifts, and always offers a listening ear. However, when John finds himself in need, his colleagues rarely reciprocate. Why? Because his constant availability has conditioned others to see his kindness as an endless resource. They no longer view his efforts as exceptional but as the norm. This isn't due to malice but simply human nature. People adjust to consistent patterns. By not setting boundaries, John has made his generosity feel like an obligation, leading his colleagues to take him for granted. Sophia, on the other hand, is the agreeable friend who always goes along with the group's plans, even when she's exhausted or uninterested, just to avoid conflict. While her willingness initially earns her appreciation, it eventually leads to others taking her sacrifices for granted. When Sophia finally asserts her own needs, people react with annoyance or dismissiveness. This is because kindness without boundaries doesn't inspire respect, it breeds entitlement. By constantly yielding to others, Sophia undermines her own value in their eyes, making her moments of self-advocacy seem inconvenient or even selfish. The stories of John and Sophia highlight a universal truth: kindness, when offered without limits, can lead to being undervalued. This isn't necessarily due to ill intentions but because human relationships tend to adjust to the level of effort one consistently gives. If you give endlessly, others may come to expect it, devaluing the very essence of your goodwill. Take Bill Gates as an example. His philanthropy has contributed billions to various causes. But his kindness is not unlimited. Instead, he chooses causes aligned with his values and focuses on sustainability rather than trying to please every demand. This selective approach not only maximizes his impact but also ensures that his generosity is respected and purposeful. Stoic philosophy teaches us to practice kindness with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our actions should align with our values, not with a desire for approval or to avoid conflict. Boundaries aren't barriers to kindness, they are the framework that allows it to flourish authentically. Protecting your self-worth while promoting mutual respect. Stoic philosophy offers profound wisdom on the nature of kindness. framing it not as an act of endless submission but as a deliberate, values-driven practice. By understanding this perspective, we can transform kindness into a true strength, one that benefits both ourselves and those around us without compromising our self-worth. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "Be true to yourself and don't be swept away by the expectations of others." This sentiment captures the essence of Stoic kindness. The Stoics believed that true kindness stems from integrity, not from an obligation to please others. It is a conscious choice that aligns with one's values, free from the need for external validation. When kindness lacks boundaries, it ceases to be a virtue and becomes a liability. People-pleasing behaviors, often mistaken for kindness, undermine one's sense of self. Stoicism teaches us to offer kindness deliberately and thoughtfully, ensuring it contributes to a greater sense of justice and harmony rather than fostering dependency or entitlement. Consider a powerful figure like Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, whose leadership style exemplifies conscious kindness. Nadella is known for fostering a culture of empathy within his organization. However, his kindness doesn't equate to leniency or passivity. He sets clear expectations for his teams, ensuring accountability and fairness while providing support. His leadership shows that kindness paired with strong boundaries creates an environment where people can thrive without taking advantage of generosity. This approach contrasts with a leader who might aim to please everyone, making unsustainable commitments or avoiding difficult conversations to maintain harmony. While this may seem kind in the short term, it often leads to confusion, inefficiency, and resentment. Nadella's style exemplifies how kindness anchored in fairness and clarity promotes both respect and effectiveness. Kindness is most powerful when it is intentional and selective, instead of offering unlimited generosity. Stoicism encourages us to act from a place of inner conviction. Imagine if figures like Nelson Mandela had acted solely to appease others without standing firm on his principles of justice. His kindness wasn't about avoiding conflict or gaining approval, it was about aligning his actions with his unwavering belief in equality and human dignity. By integrating Stoic principles into our understanding of kindness, we recognize that it is not about saying yes to every demand or bending to societal expectations. Instead, it is about staying true to our values while ensuring our kindness empowers others rather than enabling dependence. Conscious kindness is not just a gift to others, it is a reflection of inner strength and self-respect. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, kindness should serve the purpose of justice, not submission. Through thoughtful boundaries and deliberate actions, we can ensure our kindness remains a source of strength, both for ourselves and for those we touch. Kindness and people-pleasing may appear similar on the surface, but their motivations and outcomes are fundamentally different. Genuine kindness is a virtue grounded in inner strength and guided by core values, whereas people-pleasing often stems from insecurity, fear of conflict, or a desire for acceptance. Understanding this distinction is essential to maintaining healthy relationships and personal well-being. Kindness arises from an authentic desire to help others, without expecting anything in return. It's rooted in self-awareness and a commitment to one's principles. For example, a leader like Barack Obama is known for his genuine empathy, offering thoughtful support to others while staying true to his values. His kindness has always been purposeful, focused on empowering others rather than appeasing them. In contrast, people-pleasing involves prioritizing others' needs at the expense of your own, often to avoid discomfort or rejection. This behavior compromises your values and can make your actions feel insincere over time. A people pleaser might agree to tasks they cannot realistically manage, purely out of fear of disappointing someone, rather than a genuine willingness to help. The consequences of people pleasing can be severe. It often leads to burnout and exhaustion, as constantly saying yes to others' demands takes a physical and emotional toll. People pleasers frequently find themselves overwhelmed, juggling responsibilities they never intended to take on. Moreover, people pleasing creates an imbalanced relationship dynamic, where one person consistently gives while the other takes. This imbalance can erode respect and leave the people pleaser feeling undervalued. Ironically, the efforts of a people pleaser often go unappreciated, as kindness perceived as an obligation tends to be taken for granted, making others less grateful and more demanding. Princess Diana's life serves as an example. While she demonstrated boundless compassion, she also learned the importance of setting boundaries, stepping away from toxic situations, and using her kindness to champion meaningful causes. Her life underscores the necessity of balancing kindness with self-preservation. To avoid the pitfalls of people-pleasing, it's important to set healthy boundaries. This can begin with learning to say no respectfully and honestly. Such as, "I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity right now." It's also crucial to identify your priorities before agreeing to requests, ensuring that your actions align with your values and capabilities. Communicating expectations in relationships is key, whether as a manager like Elon Musk, who demands high performance but sets clear expectations about responsibilities and outcomes. Fostering mutual respect. By distinguishing kindness from people-pleasing and setting boundaries, you can act with integrity and maintain relationships based on mutual respect. Genuine kindness isn't about sacrificing yourself, it's about offering support while staying true to who you are. Kindness is often viewed as a virtue, but when channeled effectively, it can also become a source of immense inner strength. This transformation requires intentionality, self-awareness, and boundaries. Instead of allowing kindness to be an unfiltered reaction, it becomes a conscious choice that aligns with your values and enhances your resilience. The first step is to recognize your values. Before extending help, it's important to ask yourself, is this action aligned with my values? Kindness driven by your personal beliefs creates a sense of purpose. Oprah Winfrey, for example, is renowned for her philanthropic efforts. Her generosity stems from a deep commitment to education and empowerment, reflecting her core values. By staying true to her beliefs, she has made a lasting impact while maintaining her integrity. Next, setting boundaries is key. Kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Establishing boundaries ensures that your generosity doesn't become overwhelming or misused. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, as an example. He's known for fostering a culture of empathy within his organization, but he also emphasizes accountability and clear expectations. By balancing kindness with structure, he ensures fairness and maintains productivity. Boundaries aren't about being unkind, they're about protecting your time, energy, and relationships. For instance, if your workload is already heavy, saying no to an extra task at work isn't a sign of unkindness, rather, it's a way to preserve your ability to give meaningful help when it truly matters. Acting intentionally is another important aspect of turning kindness into inner strength. True kindness isn't about seeking validation or recognition, it's about genuine sincerity and doing what feels right without the need for external approval. Nelson Mandela exemplified this kind of intentional kindness. During his presidency, he prioritized reconciliation and forgiveness, Not because it was easy, but because it aligned with his vision for a united South Africa. His kindness was a deliberate act of strength, rooted in his values and belief in a greater cause. Imagine a manager who is deeply supportive of their team but also enforces clear boundaries and rules. This manager offers guidance when someone is struggling, but ensures deadlines are met and responsibilities are shared. By balancing kindness with accountability, they earn respect and trust, creating an environment where both qualities coexist. Turning kindness into inner strength requires a conscious effort to align your actions with your values, set boundaries, and act with sincerity. When approached this way, kindness becomes more than a virtue, it becomes a powerful tool for personal growth and leadership. In conclusion, kindness is not a sign of weakness. When balanced with boundaries and self-respect, it becomes a powerful strength. Practicing mindful kindness not only nurtures healthier, more fulfilling relationships but also brings peace and contentment to your inner self. Now, I'd like to ask you, have you ever felt that your kindness was taken for granted? And what will you do next time to turn your kindness into a true strength? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe to stay updated with more content on philosophy and personal growth from Peaceful Horizons.